Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Blockbuster video in Minecraft for all of your city building needs. In this tutorial, not only will I show you how to make the entire outside of the build, but I will also show you how to make the entire inside as well. Fun fact, I'm hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. Leave a comment letting me know if, where and when you found me. The first person to leave a comment getting it right will have their comment pinned. This is the amount of space required to make the build, a 27 block wide by 22 block long area, as represented by this handy grid on the screen. To find the starting position, begin at the front left hand corner of the grid, count backwards, find the 9th block, that is where we will start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin by placing 8 smooth sandstone in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Extend forwards 1, and then right by 2. 1, 2. Place a polished black stone wall, then a black stained glass pane. Leave a gap, place a wall, leave a gap, place a glass, place a black stone wall, then place 3 smooth sandstone. 1, 2, 3. Extend backwards 1, and then right by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then extend backwards by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Next, extend across the back of the build to the right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then place a row of 13 smooth sandstone extending right, but in front of this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We then want to place a smooth sandstone here in this position. Extend right, and then join all the way back to where we very first started to give us this shape. Next, we will remove all of the grass block from inside of the build. And replace it with grey concrete powder. Don't forget underneath the walls and the glass. Next, let's work on the front wall. To begin, we will place a row of 5 smooth sandstone on top of this block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will extend over to the right and down to this position. We will also extend this row just 1 row forwards like this. Then we will place 2 black stained glass pane here, 1, 2, and then a smooth sandstone, 2 pane, sandstone. We will then add another layer of glass on top of the glass and then we will fill this gap above in using smooth sandstone. Then we will place a layer of blue concrete above and on top of the window section, so we want 2 rows in total, just like this. We then want to copy this onto the right side. We want the exact same thing, so we start off with a row of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smooth sandstone. We extend over to the left and down to this corner. We extend forwards a row, and then we are able to add the 2 rows of glass, sandstone, glass, sandstone, make the glass 2 rows high, and then fill the rest of this area in with sandstone, and then add 2 rows of blue concrete across the top of the windows. So we should have this. Next, we are going to add an additional 2 rows of polished black stone wall on top of our black stone walls. We will then do the same with the glass panes. We will place iron bars in front of the center glass panes. We will then build up the smooth sandstone to the left and right of this, and we will extend it all the way up to the top. And as a matter of fact, let's just block in this entire section here, although at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we now want to grab our grey concrete, and starting here, we want to place a row of 3. 1, 2, 3 grey concrete extending forwards in front of the build. We then want to extend up by 3. 1, 2, 3, just like so. Then we want to extend across to the right, joining back to the building in the equivalent position, which is here. We extend this corner up. 1, 2, 3. We extend backwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can just extend across, and we can join forwards, and we can extend this corner across as well to give us this. And on top of this is a layer of smooth stone slab. And then from here we can just fill the sides in, and we can replace this block here with grey just to make it look a little nicer, and we can fill underneath in with grey as well, or if you wanted to add some lighting here, that would be the place to do it. We're also just going to fill this in with grey concrete, although in front of these 2 middle rows is actually a layer of blue concrete, so we actually want to extend like the center forwards using blue concrete like this, and that is where we will mount the sign. And we also just want to place grey concrete wherever it looks like it should go, basically. Next, we are going to remove the grass and grid from in front of the windows, and also the first 2 rows in front of the building as well. So straight across like this, and then from in front of the windows. The distinction is that we will place podzol in front of the window section, with azalea bushes every other block like this. Whereas with these 2 rows, we want to place smooth stone instead. And not only that, we want to have a 1x2 painting here, and another one over here. So it can be any, but my favourite combo will always be those. We want rows of sandstone wall placed here and here. And we also want to remove these blocks from in between the glass area. So from here to here we want to remove these and then place smooth stone. Then we grab the white concrete here. We want to place 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet like this. Gap 1, 2, 3. Gap 1, 2, 3. So we remove the rows in between the yellow carpet areas extending all the way to the edge of the grid, and we replace those with white concrete. And then we can remove all of the rest, and we can replace all of this with cyan terracotta. So we are effectively just making car parking spaces. And not only do we want to do this on the opposite side, but before I forget, cauldron here, oak trapdoor here, and then we can just continue on. So 3 yellow carpet gap, 3 yellow carpet gap, 3 yellow carpet. Then we create a split up the middle. And then we remove all of the area in between and replace that with cyan terracotta. And minus the sign, that is pretty much the front of the building. Which kind of raises the point, why don't we just make the sign? Throw down a loom, open it up, place a blue banner in there with yellow dye. We are going to make a lot of letters. We want to write out the word Blockbuster. So the first letters be Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, Fess, and Base. The next letter is L. This is Pale Dexter and Base. Next is O. This is Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, and Base. Next is C. This is Pale Dexter, Chief, and Base. Next is K. This is Pale Dexter, and then Bend, and Bend Sinister. Next is B, but we have it, so instead U. This is Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, and Base. Next is S. This is Chief, Base, and then Bend. Next is T. We've already ran out of room. This is the Pale pattern, followed by the Chief pattern. Then we need to make E. This is Pale Dexter, Chief, Fess, and Base. And then lastly is R. This is Pale Dexter, Chief, and Bend. And from here we can just, starting right here, B, L, O, C, K, B, U, S, T, E, R. And I do find that that sign just brings it all together. That looks fantastic. Next, we have to build up the rest of the walls. This is really simple. Starting all the way over here on the right side, we will first of all add 2 rows of smooth sandstone on top of the base of our wall. We will replace these 2 smooth sandstone with blue concrete and then extend these backwards. We will then add a row of smooth sandstone on top of this, and then we will extend across the back of the build using smooth sandstone. So this middle section is actually a little bit different, so I will save this for later, but the back walls basically follow the same pattern of having the 2 rows of smooth sandstone, 2 rows of blue, and then an additional row of smooth sandstone. And where this also differs is we want to extend the blue concrete just so that it extends out an additional row like this. And we want to do the same thing on the opposite side as well. So why don't we just hop over to here and we will just copy what we've done already, including the blue concrete section. And then extend inwards a bit. Don't forget to extend the blue out. And then this middle section is just smooth sandstone. So it just wants to equal the height of the rest of it, pretty much. And that will give us this. We can then remove all of the white concrete here. And I'm actually just going to replace it with podzol and add the same series of azaleas as we have on the front, as this is of course the exact same dimensions. And from here, that's pretty much just all of the walls complete. Now, just moving inside slightly, It would be better if we had a continuation of the blue theme across the front of the building as well. You can see that we don't have it. I actually placed smooth sandstone, which is my bad, I suppose. But, you know, I actually just forgot. I mean, I don't know what else to say. So we can add the blue concrete just across the top of the door, and we can just smooth this out nicely. And then from here, we can focus on the ceiling, or roof. It's actually both. So to make the roof, it's nice and simple. All we have to do is fill the top of the building in using smooth stone. With the entire outside of the build complete, we can now head inside and begin work on the interior, starting all the way over on the right side of the build. To begin, we will leave a gap here and place 2 pale oak shelves. Leave a gap, 2 more, leave a gap, 2 more. We want to add another row on top of these, and then we want to add a series of paintings. So whether that's 1x1s, 1x2s, whatever combination you want to use, as long as you are happy and think it looks good, and I happen to think exactly that, then we can leave it as it is. We can then leave a gap of 2 from the inside of this bookshelf, so 1, 2, and then place 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 bookshelves, and then we can add a row on top, and we will add pale oak shelves onto these sides here with blue carpet on top, and then we want to do the exact same thing here, so we leave a gap of 2 from this pale oak shelf, 1, 2, and then we can place 4 bookshelves in this position, clad both sides with pale oak shelves, and then add a layer of blue carpet on top. That looks fantastic. So not only that, we also want to add an additional layer of smooth sandstone here in front of this wall, which also necessitates a layer of blue concrete on top, just like this. And then we are able to add a layer of pale oak shelves to this wall here, just like this. So we want to add 2 rows, just like so. And then we want to add the paintings above it, so we can add a different proportion of them as we have on the side. We can use a mixture of both 1s and 2s this time, and I think that looks pretty good. So next we want to add like a hanging sign. It wants to be in the middle-ish of this area. Now there's not really a middle, it's either this block or this block, and we want to hang chains from the ceiling like this. And then we want to place barriers extending down from the chains. So we want a 2x2 square like so. And then we are able to add a painting in front. So it looks like a pretty cool dangling advertisement. We also want to extend these smooth sandstones to the left by 1 row and the blue concrete on top as well. And minus the shelves being filled, this is what this side of Blockbuster will look like. And not only this side of Blockbuster, we actually want to do the exact same thing to this side too. So on this side, we are going to preemptively extend the smooth sandstone and the blue concrete 1 row forwards at the back here. And then we will also extend this bit of wall just across, like so. And then we can add all of these shelves. So we leave a gap of 1, 2 shelves, gap, 2 shelves, gap, 2 shelves. Add another row on top. We can then re-grab the paintings, and we will need the bookshelves as well. And we can add the paintings above these shelves. I have to be careful not to call these bookshelves. I kind of interchange the bookshelves and the shelf block names all over the place. I'm sure you guys have noticed. It's probably driving you a little bit crazy. Next, we want to add our rows of bookshelves. So we leave a gap of 2 from here, 1, 2, and then place 1, 2, 3, 4 bookshelves. Add another row on top. Clad them with pale oak shelves. Blue carpet across the top. Do the same thing here as well. Leave a gap of 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 bookshelves. Add the blue carpet. Then the shelves. And then on this back wall, we want to add a row of shelves that is the same size as the bookshelf area. And we just want to add some paintings, kind of like this, just across the top. That's not my favorite one, but I'm going to leave it. And then we want to have a hanging sign, which I do believe is going to go right about here. I think this is in the same position as the opposite side. If not, I shall move it. I think that's perfect, actually. Good. So from here, I also want to connect these two blue concretes across this back wall, just left to right, like so. And I also want to extend them an additional row forwards, like this. And if I'm correct, these bookshelves these blue concretes specifically should be long enough that we can grab our Blockbuster banners. And I think that we should just be able to apply them. If not, we will have to... No, that's perfect. Was just missing the R. And this is looking really nice already. We just have a few more details to add. So first of all, we are just going to add a row of black concrete here. And then we will add 2 rows of pale oak shelves to the left. And we want to do the same thing on the opposite side. So black concrete, 2 rows of pale oak shelves like this. And then a row of black concrete extending inwards on both sides, just like so. And then we are able to add some smooth sandstone in between the left and right sides, just like this, to cover all of this up. And we need to add something to the top of these, so either black concrete or some sort of white block, maybe block of iron works as well. We want the floor to be block of iron, so maybe if you want to vary it a little bit, maybe we can just use black for the top. And I'm just going to add some glass to these sides like this. So these are basically just fridges where we can get drinks from. We'll fill them up later when we fill up, well, everything. And then, in between this area, we want to place a red concrete here, glass here, red concrete, stone stair here, 2 blast furnaces extending down, then a loom here. We will then place a row of grey concrete extending across to the right, and we will place a brewing stand here, stone stairs here, red, yellow and lime concrete here, levers here, and pale oak signs here. Then we will leave a gap of 1 and we will place a row of blue concrete extending left to right like so, and we will actually extend out an additional row just like this. Next, we are just going to make a couple of banners. We can actually use the loom that we have back here. So the first one is a red banner and white dye, and we just apply the pally pattern. Next, yellow banner, white dye, apply the bourgeois pattern, throw red dye in there and apply the pale pattern. So this banner is going to go above the loom, and this banner is going to go at the base of this machine right here. So yeah, I was also going to place it on this side as well, but I actually like the signs on the side. Next, we are going to come all the way over here, and place an iron bar in this position. Add another one on top. Grey candle on top of that. And then we apply item frames all the way around the iron bars. And I'm just going to add some horn coral fans to these. So in my mind, these have bags of crisps on them. And you could go for potatoes or something like that. But for some reason, I don't know why, and I really like how it looks. Horn coral fan looks pretty good. I don't know why. I kind of associate these with like French fries, like in an item frame. But I don't know. I like them. Put anything in there that you want, but that's what I'm going for. And I'm going to do the exact same thing over here as well. So 2 iron bars, grey candle, and then item frames. But equally so, like there could be bags of crisps on these. There could be those large bags of sweets, like chocolate, whatever. So you can literally just fill it up with whatever. But I also like the yellow as well because it's kind of like fitting with the theme too. So here we are going to have a couple of bookshelves just like this. I'm actually considering removing a row of sandstone here, adding an additional bookshelf, and then that way we can have some more paintings. So just like this. I think that looks a bit better, but it's such a minor detail it doesn't even matter at all. Yeah, that looks pretty good in my opinion. And the last thing that we have to do now is fill in all of these shelves. So first of all, because this is an incredibly retro store, I want to make a videotape banner or a VHS tape banner if you like. Open up a loom, throw a black banner in there with some light grey dye and apply the chief pattern and the base pattern. Put black dye in there with the border indented pattern, grab that, take that out, then leave black dye in there and apply the lozenge pattern. Then put white dye in there and apply the fast pattern. Put black dye back in and apply the border pattern. And this looks like a VHS tape. And of course it wouldn't make a massive amount of sense to have these in a Blockbuster in the modern day. But it also doesn't really make sense to have a Blockbuster in the modern day either. So I'm going to opt to place them here rather sparingly at like the ends of these aisles. And I think that that's a good place for them. Or maybe we could populate the entire end row with the VHS tapes. It's really up to you. You can fill these shelves in however you'd like. Perhaps a more obvious option would be to fill the bookshelves, or rather the shelves, in with different music discs to represent DVDs. I think that this is a solid choice. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm picking a particular shelf, like this one, and I'm just applying the DVDs, in air quotes, to this one shelf, just like so. I'm adding them in series of 2s, so like I'm making the top and the bottom the same colour, and I'm applying the same pattern to both sides. I just find this to look really satisfying. So the music discs look really good on the shelves, in my opinion. But what also equally makes sense, in my opinion, is to fill these in with banners. And the reason that it makes sense to me is that what you would most likely see is DVD/Blu-ray cases on these shelves. And these would be all different colours. And a fast way to do this is by using banners, like I said, and we will need 12 of them in total if we are following the pattern or the pattern rules that I kind of like set out earlier. By the way, it's also possible that it would look better for the banners if we kind of outlined them with a black or dark grey border pattern so that they look more like cases. So we can test this out right here. So these are how they look regularly, and there we go. So does that look any better? Does that look worse? Does it make a difference? Honestly, this might be better. It does seem a little bit more deliberate, so I may change all of these for those banners. Now, this does leave us with this back set of shelves, but all I'm going to do is use a mixture of all of the previous banners and discs, and I'm just going to have a mishmash of all of these different mediums. Oh no. I hate when that happens. Okay, no, it's good. So, there we go. Perfect. Or you could exchange this for something else entirely. But this is what it ends up looking like, and I think that this just looks really nice and satisfying to have all of these shelves stocked with all kinds of different. But this is what it ultimately looks like, and honestly, I think that it's so nice to have a mishmash of all of these 3 different items. I think that it just looks so much better this way. And we do of course have to do the exact same thing all the way over on that side, but before we do that, we do have more shelves to fill in. So the smaller one here, I'm just going to add a bunch of sweet stuff to it, like this. These shelves here, I'm just going to add shulker boxes, and this is just meant to look like candy or sweets or whatever you'd like to call it. Just nice and colourful. Not to mention the fact that we also have to fill the fridges in as well with a series of drinks. I always go to just the rainbow when choosing colours for things. It makes it a lot easier for me. And there we go. So not only will we fill that one in, but we have to fill this one in as well. Now, all I have to do is fill all of these shelves in, and I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did over on that side. I'm literally just going to copy and paste it. There we go. That looks fantastic. With that final detail added, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our Blockbuster into our city. I can't explain why I feel this way, but I just feel like Blockbuster should go in the new modern suburbs. Specifically over here in this corner with Toys R Us, the pharmacy and the opticians. It just kind of feels like a nostalgic corner over here. I don't know why, but I think it's got to go here. You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini-City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.